Uh, Good morning, friends. So in this Business Intelligence Master Program, this is our 14th session. In this session, we will see how to validate copied data and how you can add new columns while copying the data. So not only adding new columns while copying data, we are going to remove the columns while copying the data. So first thing, how you are going to validate copied data. So basically, I have an input container, I have an output container. So in input container, let's say I have two files. Now I need to copy these two files from input container to the output container. So once my copy activity is completed, it is going to give you some kind of execution details, how many files it has copied, okay, how many DAUs it has used, all these things you know. Now what I am going to do, I will just take the number of files it has read, number of files it has written. These two values I will take and I will check whether these two values are equal or not. If these two values are equal, the number of files read, number of files written, both are equal. What it means, whatever data your copy activity read it from the source, everything it has written into your destination. That is the validation we are going to do. Once validation is finished, what I wanted to do, I don't want to maintain a duplicate copy. Whatever data I have in input container, same data I have in output container. So I already verified both the containers is having same data. Okay. Now, how you have verified? As we discussed, you are going to check the number of files read equal to number of files written. Once this validation is passed, I can confirm that whatever files I have in input container, same files available in output container. In this case, what I will do is I will use a delete activity. We have another activity called delete activity. I will use this delete activity to delete the files from input container. I will delete the files from input container. Just imagine we have input container and output container. If you copy all the input files to the output container, I don't want to maintain two copies of the data. That's why I'm going to remove, I'm going to delete the files from the input container. That's what I'm going to do with respect to the validate copied data. And once validation passed, we are going to delete the files from the input container. Next. Add new columns while copying the data. Example, let's say in a file, I have three columns: course ID, course name, course start date. What I wanted to do is, I want to add trainer. I need to add the column name called trainer. Okay. So when you are going to add this trainer information, I have received multiple files. In any of the file, I don't have trainer. Okay, now my goal is I need to add a trainer column and I need to update the value, respective value for that column in all the files. How you can do that, we are going to see. Okay, next. Again, I have a course ID, course name, course start date, and a trainer. Now I am copying these four columns data into my another folder. Okay.
Screen is not moving.
I am not moving. Just wait. I am not moving, Murli. Wait. Okay. So what I wanted to do, what we wanted to do, I have a four columns in my file. These four columns data, when I am copying, I don't want to pick the course ID. I don't want to load the course ID column. So how you can delete that particular course ID column, we are going to see. So these are the three things we are going to do. One is we are going to validate the copied data. Once validation passed, we are going to delete it. Second thing is, when you are copying the data, you are going to add the new columns as per the requirement. But most common requirement is, whenever you are copying the data, you need to add the load date. When these records you have loaded into your destination folder, that particular load date you should include. Okay, so that I will show you how you can include. Third thing is, whenever you are loading data into your destination, we don't record all the columns, because maybe in input side you have thousands of columns or 250 columns or 200 columns. You don't record all the columns for reporting purpose. You need only 10 columns or 15 columns. You need to select only those columns and copy into your destination instead of picking all the columns. So how you can remove some of the columns while you are copying? So all these three things we'll discuss. Let's see what else we are going to discuss today. So I am going to show you all the scenarios. Then we are going to see data flow diagram, how I am going to implement pipeline today. Then estimations, okay, how many data sets, how many linked services pipelines I will create. Then prerequisites, okay, so what you need to understand this lab. Then required resources, what are resources we need for today lab. So demo, we will do same thing. We will create a storage account, then we will upload some files into storage account. I will create a Data Factory v2, and you can create a linked service. A multiple data sets I will create because I'm going to use multiple activities. Create a pipeline, debug pipeline, okay, run pipeline and monitor pipeline. We already know what is the difference between debug and run. Debug means you can create breakpoints and execute the pipeline partially. Run pipeline means you cannot create a breakpoint, you have to run entire pipeline. Debug you can able to do without publishing. Run you have to do once you publish. Okay, without publish you cannot run the pipeline. Okay, all these details we know already. Okay, let's see now first scenarios. How to copy multiple files from blob to blob. This will cover because in a container I have a multiple files. All those files I will copy into my destination. But this particular scenario we already covered. Next, how to add new columns while copying multiple files from input container to the output container. So we are going to see how to add new columns while copying multiple files from input container to the output. How to remove columns while copying multiple files from input container to the output. So as we discussed, first in second scenario, I am going to add the columns while I am copying to the output container. Third scenario, I am going to remove some columns from the file when I am copying to the my output content. Then we are going to see how to validate copied files between source and destination. You are going to compare between source and destination, whether whatever files you read it from source, everything you copied into destination or not. Then we are going to see how to delete files from input container. You are going to delete files from input container if all files copied to output container successfully. Okay, if everything is available in your output container, then only you are going to delete these files. So today we are going to use the delete activity. Okay, these are the things that we are going to do today. Okay, everybody's clear, friends. Scenarios are very important because if you understood this, then only you can able to understand the task. Can you quickly confirm, friends? Everybody understood this? Okay. Thank you all. Thank you. Now we will see the data flow diagram. Okay, fine. Now you see data flow diagram here. You can see copy activity. So in this copy activity, we need to create a two data sets. Okay, create data sets to reference to input container and the output container. So I am going to create a two data set. One is for input container, another one for the output container. So when you create a data set for input container, what it is going to do is it is going to read all the files which you have in input container and it will load it into the output container. Now, how many files I have read it from source and written? So those files are, let's say I have emp.csv and cust.csv in my input container. So these two files I have loaded into the output container. So how many files? These are two files. So files read equal to 2, files written equal to 2. There will be 2. I will show you those details when I debug this copy activity in detail. Once I copied this data, okay, I will pass these details to my if activity. What if activity is going to do? If activity is going to check one condition, something like this. At the rate equals of, see, copy activity output files read comma files written, meaning at the rate equals of 10 comma 10, meaning if both are equal or not, it is going to tell. In the same way, if you apply this dynamic content activity of copy.output.files read, it is going to give you the number of files it read. Activity of copy.output.files written, if you ask, it is going to give you the number of files it has written to the output container. Files read means how many files it read from the input container. Files written means how many files it has written to the output container, it is going to give you. So if both are same, if both are Okay, see, whatever whatever files we have in input container, same files we have in output container. So when this condition true, that is the meaning. Now as I have same files in two containers, I am going to remove the files from my input container. How you will delete it? By using the delete activity. Okay. When it will become false, whatever files you read from the input container, if you have not written those files into your output container, then condition will become false. Okay. Condition will become false. Here I am going to use a wait activity. Okay. Simple. Now first run, let's say all the files I read, all the files which I read written into the destination, then I will execute the delete activity. Next case, whatever files I read, those files I have not written into the destination, then wait activity will execute. Okay, that's all friends. Very easy pipeline today we are going to implement. So everybody is clear on this? Manohar, Parmesh, can you confirm friends? Everybody is clear on this? Okay, fine. Thank you. So Azure Blob Storage, we know already, create a account, then instead that we are going to create a two containers, then we will have a blobs we will upload into it. Okay. Next PSP file, we already know all the values will be separated with comma. It's not only comma, by default the delimiter is comma, that's why the name it is comma separated values, because even if you're not specifying what is the delimiter, it will take comma. So but we also have a pipe, tab and other things. We can take example these things. We already discussed all these things, that's why I'm going a little bit fast. So it's a comma separated, it's a pipe separated CSV files. You see here JSON means you'll have a key and value pair. Here you have a key and value. Next, estimations, we know for storage we need to create one linked service. So I'm going to create a one linked service today, and the data sets we need to create depends on the reference points, how many activities. So depends copy activity. If you want to copy data, then you need to use a copy activity. If you want to apply some kind of your logic, okay, I don't want to copy all the files, you want to apply some kind of a logic, based on that you need to use other activities. So when you are using other activities, you need to create you need to use the those activities as well. Okay, how many pipelines we are going to implement? Only one pipeline. What type of IR we are going to use today? We are still going to use the Azure integration runtime today as well. Okay, with respect to the prerequisites, we are going to see what is storage account. We need to understand what is Azure Data Factory integration runtime and the types, what is linked service, data set, activity and the pipeline. So these things are very important. So we need to know all these things, but we discussed in detail everything. Next, required resources are storage account and Azure Data Factory V2. So I will go and create these two, but I hope everybody is clear on these things. Okay. Manohar clear, thank you. Avinash clear, thank you. Nagaraj clear, thank you. Murli, thank you all, thank you. Okay, so come here. Sorry. Portal.azure.com. Log in into your portal. So here, first thing we need to create is we need to create a storage account. Click on storage account. Click add storage account. Okay, I want to create a new resource group. Click create new. You can say here cloud public BA master. Sorry, cloud public BA master program 1. Okay, something. Already I have another like another resource group with the same name. That's why I'm using extension is 1. Okay. In the same way here you can say cloud pandit cust1. You can simply say cust1. In which location is H2S, and remaining things we know, standard, HDD, premium, SSD, all these things we discussed. Just click we will display. create it. We come to next tab. Let's open here also a portal. Let's click on data factory. Where is data factory? Let's go data factories. Click on data factory. Let's click add to create the new data factory. Okay, resource request, I will select 1 East to US. My data factory name I will set cloud from the area of V21. Okay, version 2, this is 1 because we already have a V2 data factory, but I'm going to use V21. Okay, click click on Git configuration. So we are going to configure this later. Click review plus create. Okay, validation passed, you can create it. This is fine. Let's come back to your storage. Storage is ready. Go to resource. Click on containers. Let's click container. Here it is going to be input container. Click create. Again click on container. This is going to be my output container. Now you see I'm going to create. So I will tell you the reason why I'm creating one more. This is basically when you are using your delete activity, you need to save your logs, what files deleted, that information. But that is up to you. It's not a compulsory, but if you'd like to save those logs, if you'd like to collect those logs, you can keep one more container. So I will say delete logs, delete log. This is the one more container I'm creating now itself, so that you will have clarity. Okay. So in input container, I will have my source files. Those I will move it into my output container by using copy activity. Once I copy all those files which I have input folder to the output folder, I will remove the files from the input folder. I want to know what all files I removed. What all files I removed from the input container. If I want to know, I need to collect the logs. Those logs I will store it in this particular container. Okay. For now, we need to upload some source files into input container. Go inside this, click upload, click on this. So these are the two files I have, cust and emp. Let's select these two, upload them. Okay, I uploaded these two files. Now come to your data factory here. Let's click on go to resource. Let's do one by one. Okay, instead of doing everything at once, so let's do one by one. First thing that we do is we will move all those files into output container. If all the files moved into output container, then we will see how you can delete the files from the input container. Okay, that is the first task we will do. Let's click on manage tab. Click on linked service. Click new to create the linked service. So to which storage you want to connect? Blob storage. Click continue. This is basically LS Azure blob storage, and here you can say this is which storage? Cust1 storage. Okay, you can say first one. So we know we are going to connect to this by using Azure integration runtime, and the account key I am going to use, but you can use the SaaS URI and other things as well. Okay. Now, if you'd like to see how you can use SaaS URI, let's do today. Okay, let's go with the SaaS URI today. So this you need to get it some like see SaaS URL is this is the URL you need to get, and SaaS token you need to get these two things. For that, come to your storage here. Okay, come down. You see here shared access signature. Click on that. Okay. Now you see allowed resource types. So what all things you want to allow? So for blob, file, queue, and table, what all permissions you are giving? Read, write, delete, everything. Okay. So everything you are allowing. Now, what you need to do, you just have to select these things as well. Load resources, what all things you want to allow. So I want to allow them to create services, containers, containers to upload files and delete files. So everything I want to give the object means like files. Okay, container means like folders. Okay, service means your actual service. Okay, now so once we have done all those things, see this particular option is enabled. Now just click on generate SaaS and connection strings. See, it has given all those things. It is generated everything. Now what you need to do is you just take this URL, okay, blob service SaaS URL. So you can take these or this, everything is same only. From here to here you can collect. See, first you take the SaaS token. SaaS token is direct, okay, copy it and come here, paste the SaaS token. This is direct one, okay. Next, so come here, you see here, this is the my storage, right? This is the URL from here to here .net. That's all. See here you have a lot of things, but just to take up to here, okay. Now come here, put that URL here. Okay, let's test the connection. So connection is successful. I hope everybody is clear how I have connected to the Azure, Azure Blob Storage by using SaaS URI. SaaS URI, if you want to use, you just have to tell. So what all permissions you want to give, read, write, delete. So you can restrict. So for this particular SaaS token, what all permissions you want to give. Okay. So I want to only read, write, some permissions you can able to restrict. Okay, I hope, but I have got the all the permissions because I need to delete the files, I need to read the files, I need to write the files. So that's why I have granted everything. Let's click create. This is how you need to use the SaaS URL. Okay, so we have used SaaS URL to connect to the blob storage. Let's come to Author tab. Here, let's create two data sets. Okay, new data set, because let's focus only on copy activity. Okay, blob storage, continue. So I have a CSV files, continue. This is basically you see ds underscore ds underscore Azure Blob Storage source data set. You no need to say data set, it's already data set ds I mentioned, you just say source. So this is the linked service I need to select, and my container is I can hard code if you have a single, but you have multiple. What you will do, friends, when you have multiple containers? Can you tell me?
Metadata main.
Very good. So you can make metadata, or you can able to, let's say you have okay, first thing is metadata, second thing is you can, if you have multiple files in a container, you can able to get it by using a get metadata activity. Okay, this is the input container I'm saying. So all the all files I need to write with headers. So if you remember, I have shown you without checking this option, what will happen? We have seen it is not going to read the headers. So while writing also I have shown you it has not written the headers. So that's why this particular option you need to check. This is basically schema. Okay, today we are going to see this is also important. So import schema is basically it is where you are going to import the data types of all the columns. You are going to import the schema from the files. Click OK. Okay, this is okay. Now let's create a new data set. This is basically for my output. CSV files I'm loading. This is, you can say, DS Azure Blob Storage for sync connection, sync data set. This is the, sorry, and see this. Use the existing linked service. Then where you want to load this data into output content. That's all. First row has header. First row has header. Click OK. Okay, that's all. That's all you need to do. Now just click on this pipeline, create a pipeline. Okay. Now this is the pipeline name I will say. PL data add new column. So let's say add new columns in this pipeline. The first thing we'll do, add new columns. Okay, let's come here, click, drag the copy activity. So what is your data set? Copy, input to output to add columns. So I am going to add the columns. Okay, now source, this is my source. Just select source data set. So you selected only what file? You selected container. In container, when you have multiple files, you need to specify the file path as a wildcard file path. So you can just say .csv files, .json files, subset of files if you want to take, or entire files you want to take, you need to use a wildcard file path. We have seen all those things. Now star means it is going to pick everything. Now I want to read the data. Just click on preview data. How many columns you are getting now? 4 columns you are getting. Only player ID, player name, player highest score, number of matches. Okay, from 2 files I got total 10 records. Now close this, click on this copy activity. Now I want to add one more column called load date. When you are loading these records, click on this. This is the name of column which you want to add, load date. Okay, this is the load date I want to say, and you can say file path is basically it will give the file name, so from which file you are loading. Okay, so if you want those things I will include, but load date is important. So let's click add dynamic content. So what you need to do, UTC. So UTC, now it will give you the date, it will give you the current timestamp, current UTC date. Now just click new. Okay, so let me show you file. So from which file you are copying data into this, then one more column I can, let's say this is basically to get the duplicate column. Suppose you want to paste some duplicate column, so you can able to get the duplicate column. How you will get the duplicate column? So let's say duplicate column example, I have a player. You just select here, see column name. So which column you want to duplicate? It. So that column name you need to select here. See, you will see all these column names. I want to have a duplicate player name column. Okay, then you have to say player name underscore duplicate. Okay, player name underscore duplicate. So you will have a, with the player name you will have 2 columns. One is player name, one is player name underscore duplicate. Next, let's say I want to have one more column, that is from which pipeline you are running. Okay, so this is basically these things we will not take. Only we will take load name, load date we will take. Basically these things I am just giving you all the things that are possible in this. Okay, pipeline name if you want to take, just from which pipeline you ran, just click on add dynamic content, and here you see pipeline name. If you want, you just click on this. Do you want data factory name? You just select data factory name also. If you want to pass it, then click new again. Okay, come down here, you can say data factory underscore name. Okay, so this is basically, this is also your dynamic content. So data factory name you can select, and run ID, in which run. So this is also important. We may need to add this because run ID is also very important. Okay, people will add this. Okay, run ID, in which run these records loaded, because something goes wrong you can come back and you can check the history. Run ID is important. How you get run ID is add dynamic content. You see pipeline run ID. Okay, click finish. So these are the columns. Now you just try to preview the data now. So you see these are the like values are going to add. Click OK. See now player ID, player name, player highest score, number of matches, load date came. This file name is custody.csv. See all these files is loaded from custody.csv. These files is loaded from emp.csv. Okay, next you see player name duplicate. Same player name came here. Kohli like ABD. Pipeline name is this. See, pipeline name is this PL underscore data underscore add new columns. Data factory name is this, and run ID is this, in which run this happen. Okay. Now all these columns, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to load it into my sink. So just select your sink data set. That's all you need to do. So let's try to run this particular pipeline. Let's click debug. Yeah, Manohar, tell me, Manohar.
Malay, can we add like new columns by using existing columns like derived column or concordate? Let us take example like
No,
in
this
source
is
we
not
give first
possible.
name.
Just 1 second. If you want to apply, like if you want to calculate your derived columns, you need to go with the data flows. Okay.
Okay.
So this is copy activity successful. Now come to here, go inside your output container and verify whether those two files is having new columns or not. See, input container is having a multiple files here. You can see, come back, you just go to your output container. In this we have these two, but why extension is .txt? Anybody tell me, friends? We already have seen this issue. See, okay, fine. So I will explain if you did not remember. See, load date came, file name, player name underscore duplicate came, pipeline name came, data factory name came, run ID. So all these things loaded into this file as well as in this file also, emp.txt. Click edit. See, load date, file name, player name underscore duplicate, pipeline name, data factory name, run ID. Everything is loaded. Let's come back. Now let's delete y.txt came. We know already. Let me just change it to the .cs. I will change. Just you need to come here. Sync side. If you see the extension is .txt, you just have to mark it as .csv. Then files will be copied into the .csv. Shit, I forgot. I deleted, but I would have shown you. Even though files are in .txt, we have seen that data will be there in a comma separated values. Okay. Let's click debug now. Okay, let's see now .csv extension will be a .csv. Okay, pipeline ran successfully. Refresh this. Now you see .csv files. If you open this, yeah, we already have seen output files, right? So comma separated. I have shown you already. See here also comma separated values and all the columns came, and file extension also this time .csv. Okay, clear? You are able to see all these things. You can click like so. Sometimes it will not work, but you see all these things. Okay, double quote added. That's why. Yeah, this is clear how we can add the new columns. Everybody's clear on this? Okay, I'm just deleting these things now. I just deleted. I want to implement a new pipeline now. Implement new pipeline.
Sir, on doubt, for deleting purpose, we have any option like select all? If we have 10 files, how can we select all by clicking manually, not clicking manually?
What clicking manual?
For
I did not.
deleting, files in input container or output container,
See,
select all
that's
option is available.
not implemented yet. So third pipeline is going to be our delete pipeline. That time I will explain. Okay. I have not completed it. So this is just adding new columns. We are going to see deleting the new columns. Then we are going to see how to delete the files. So if you want to delete subset of files, I will tell you how you can do that.
I'm asking like manually. If I want to delete 10 files manually, instead of selecting one by one, is there any select all option for deleting purpose?
So from UI, you mean?
Yeah.
See, why you are thinking as I am just selecting all these things one by one. So don't worry, because in real time you are not going to delete something like this. Here, as a power, like practice purpose, you are deleting, But as per your question, answer is you don't have anything called the select all. You need to select one by one.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Now you see here like Cloud Pandit first one. This is my output content. Now come back to your data factory. PL underscore data. Remove columns. Okay. I want to remove the columns while I am copying data from source to destination. Just bring the copy data activity again. What is your source? This one. What is your sink? This is my sink. How you will delete the columns is come here, click import schemas. See, you are trying to copy player ID, player name, player highest score, number of matches. These 4 columns you are trying to copy into your destination files. But I don't require player ID. Okay, player ID will not be required for my reporting. Okay, player name is required because I need to tell who is the person got the maybe number 1 or number 2 some ranking or something. Okay, so which player achieved the highest score if I want to know. So we need to know all these things, but player IDs will not be required for my reporting purpose. So I will delete this. Okay, just click delete. Okay, I have only these 3 columns. If you run your pipeline, you will see only these 3 columns will copy to your destination. Click debug now. Okay, so can somebody tell me what it is saying now?
Wildcard paths.
Very good.
Yeah, multiple files.
Container name. So in that container we have multiple files. So we need to tell wildcard file path whether it is a everything or you want to select a subset of files. Star means everything. Okay. Click debug now. Your copy activity is successfully executed. Come to output, refresh this. Go inside this. Again say custody.txt, but inside that we'll have a CSV format data, but you see this time player ID is not available. Okay, come back. Go inside emp.txt. Click on edit. You see here also I don't have a player ID. Now come back. So this time I hope everybody know how you can get the .csv files if you want. Okay, so only the changes here. SS Manohar, if it is a compatible type, you can able to change the data type. You can change the data type. You see, come to mapping. Okay, here source side you can able to change. Okay, sink side it is fixed, but it should be a compatible type. Player name is string, you cannot change anything. So player highest score is integer, it is compatible type, so you can change it to the integer. Okay. So it's into 32 I will put. Number of matches also it's int, you can able to typecast, you can able to change it to the integer. Okay, so these data types you can change. Let me run the pipeline again. Let me delete these 2 things now. I just deleted. I'm going to run my pipeline. Okay, I changed it. See, these data types I have changed. Destination side it is string. Doesn't matter, but these are compatible types. These are the correct data types, integer. So you can change those things. Click debug. See, your copy activity successfully executed. Come back, refresh this. So open custody.txt. Okay, you can see data here. Okay, it's not text. You just have to say it's a CSV. Go up here. You see it's CSV. Select CSV, and then you see it's a CSV. Basically, it is in a text. It is showing text, but it's not text. It's a comma separate CSV only. So just to avoid this confusion, just to delete these two things again. Oh, delete these two files again. Come here. Okay, in sync side, this extension you need to mark it as a .csv instead of text. Okay, let's debug this pipeline again. Clear, Manohar? It is successfully executed. Come to output, refresh this. See cust.csv and emp.csv. You can open and you can see that player ID will not be available. You just click on preview data. Now you see player highest score number of matches. So if it is a string, instead of double quotes, you will see percentile 22. So double quotes is there, right? Front and back. That's why percentile 22 is there, front and back. Just click edit again. So this is edit mode. If you want to preview data, you can just click preview. Okay, fine. Come back. Now this is all about your adding the new columns and deleting the new columns while you are copying the data. Now we'll go and see how to validate your copy activity. Okay, so for that,
Malay, sorry to interrupt. There we are adding file extension path as .csv. .csv as .csv, right? In place of, suppose we have in same container JSON files also, then how we can add like that.
So if we have
in same container, we have .csv.
See, in that case, you no need to tell like you no need to tell .txt. Those files will be copied as this.
Okay. Yeah. At the time, this option is unable, not able to.
See, one thing, I think you joined in the middle, right? So from the beginning, whoever is there, Manohar or somebody can confirm, friends. We have already seen if you have CSV and JSON files in same container, we have loaded into your output container with the same extension, isn't it, friends? Yes.
Yeah.
So we have done that when so you just watch our previous sessions, you will come to know. Okay. Fine. Now just to click new pipeline. Okay. Before I go to new pipeline, I need to tell you one thing. Come here. So where you can see execution details. Let's say, see this is the just click on this option. You see here files read is 2. How many files it has written? 2. So these details I will read. These files read I will read. I will get, and these files written I will get. So once I get these two information, files read and files written, once I get these things, files read and files written, with the help of this, I'm going to compare the files read is equal to the files written or not. If it is equal, meaning I have copied all the files successfully into my output container, then I will use delete activity to delete these two files from my input container. Okay, so for that, click on this pipeline. Now this pipeline name you can say PL data validation. This is a validation pipeline. Now just to bring this copy data activity here. What is okay, copy data here you can say copy block to block validation. It's not basically validation. Validation will not happen here. In pipeline level, you need to tell validation. Copy block to block. Okay, that's all. You just have to use this. Okay, fine. Now, what is your source? Your source is clear already. Source dataset. What is your sink? Sink is this. Just to avoid confusion, here itself, I'm just marking it as a .csv. One thing. Second thing that we need to take care is come to source. Select the wildcard file, but everything I need to pick. Okay, so do you want to add new columns while copying these files? So we know you just add it. If you want to delete it, import schema, and whatever you want to delete, you can delete that. Okay, fine. I don't want to delete everything. I want to copy, so let it be. If you want to change the data type of this, you can change the data type of these things, or int, or whatever you want to change, you can change. We have seen just now. Now we also have seen once copy activity is executed, it is going to give you few details, files read, files written, right? So those things I need to verify. How you can check it is if condition, bring the if condition. Okay, pass this copy activity output to the if condition. Here, this is my if condition. Come to activities. Okay, so here I need to write the condition. What is our condition? Very simple. So first you need to tell, see here, select this activity output dot on this output. I'm going to ask files read. This is my one argument. Come to next line. Again, select copy activity. Here I am going to say files written. Okay, this is my first argument. See, remember, this is my first argument. This is my second argument. Whether these two are equal or not, for that, I'm just, what I'm going to do is I will just use here equals. Okay, I will pass. This is my first parameter. Put the comma here. This is going to be your second argument. Okay, and the parentheses. That's all you need to do. Oh, sorry. Written. Okay, so that's all you need to do. See, equals. So first parameter value is this files read. This number is equal to the files written number or not. If this condition returned true, then I need to add the delete activity inside true. If it is false, I will add some wait activity. But everybody is clear on this particular condition. Even yesterday we have seen few conditions. We were seeing all these conditions. Clear? Manohar clear, and other people. Okay then, thank you. Thank you. Ratnaraj, are you clear? Avinash, Devinder, Parmesh, Shiva, Sudhir, Shushmita, Vinay, Vinod. Everybody is clear, friends? Okay then, thank you. Click finish. If this condition is returned true, I need to add the true activities. Go to true activity. Now you have a something called delete activity. Bring this delete activity. Okay, what you want to delete? Delete. Okay, I want to delete input files. Okay. See here, you need to select your source content. Okay. So here you have a wildcard file path. So Murli, you are asking, right? So how you will delete? I think you are not asking this. So in this delete activity, if you want to delete everything, you just have to use star here. Here also wildcard file path, because in this particular data set we have selected up to a input container. But in that input container, whatever files have, everything I want to delete. That's why select same data set, say that I want to delete everything. Okay, star. Now come to logging settings. Here you can uncheck. I don't want to collect the logs. You can do that. Or if you want to collect the logs, select it, and you have fine. So now you see logging account linked service. So you need to tell in which storage you want to put these logs. Select your blob storage. Here, if you remember, I have created one more container called delete logs container to store my logs. In this directly, I want to store my logs. Okay, select this container. Then we can debug the pipeline. Okay, so what will happen? Exactly same thing is going to some questions I received before deleting. I want to move file to archive folder where I want to manage the Yeah, incompatibility we will discuss later, Manohar. Okay, so fine. Now he is asking one more thing, like I want to move, before you delete, I want to move the files into the archive folder. So don't worry, this particular thing is still pending. Okay, we will discuss this as well. This scenario is in our list only. So okay, we will discuss that scenario as well. So copy activity, so we know these two, we will get it. Then we have passed copy activity details such as activity of output.files read, comma, output.files written. We are checking with the help of this condition. If it is returned true, it may return true or false. If it return true, we are using delete activity to delete the files. If it is the returning false, we are using the wait activity. Okay, so now I need to add this wait activity in the false condition. Come back, go inside false. Okay, just use the wait activity to wait for some 10 minutes. Okay, so now you just say click debug. See, copy activity successful. Now if condition is returned true, that's why it is deleting the files. See, deleted input files. Now come back here. See, these two files came, I think refresh this. These two files we have not deleted. See, when this modified last time, 757 exactly just now. Okay, now go back to your input. So you will not have any files in your input container. Okay, it's deleted. Now go back to your delete logs. Here you will come to know what files deleted. Go inside this, click on this. Okay. Go to edit, click preview data. You see custody.csv, this is a file deleted. emp.csv, it is a file deleted. So all these logs will be there here. Okay, so I will reset everything back. Okay, I'll just reset everything. Let me just delete these logs. Let's see. So my delete logs container is empty now. Okay, even I don't want to keep this output container. Container I will delete. Enter container I have deleted. Output container. We'll see will it create or not. We know it is going to create and it will load the files. But input container is also empty. I don't want to put this is empty because this is our source. Let me upload those two files again into this input container. Now we will replicate the issue. Same thing. Whatever pipeline we expecting, those things should be, we should be able to see those things now. See, in input container, I have a custody.csv, emp.csv. Now, what should happen is those files should move to the output container. Then whatever files I have in my input container, okay, those files should delete. The delete information I should have in a delete logs. Okay. See, now click on debug. Okay. Copy activity. Okay, we have a see, copy activity is done, if activity verified, delete activity is deleted the files. Now you just go inside input container. See, I'm inside input container. You see files got deleted. Okay, refresh this. Go inside output container. See, output container created and it is loaded these two files. Now go inside delete logs. Click on this. Click on this file. Click edit to see the files which you have deleted. Custody.csv and emp.csv got deleted. Okay, clear, everything is clear, friends. Any doubts? Okay, everything is clear. Let me show you. Go inside this, click on delete files. Here you can say cloudpandit.txt, cloudpandit.txt, or you can say cloudpandit.log. Okay, so before this I need to reset my storage again because I don't have any input files. Let me upload those two files. I'm just checking. import these two files, click upload, upload it, come back, go inside output. Okay, let's delete this entire content. So in delete logs also, let me delete these things so that you will not have any confusion. You just come back, see it's empty. Delete logs is there is no logs in it. So now input container also I resetted. We have two files in it. Now I'm going to run the pipeline. Let's click debug again. You can now refresh this. Files were deleted. Refresh this. Output container has the files. Now let's go into delete logs to see the, oh, this is created with folder. Okay, so we cannot control the file name there. Okay, so meaning we cannot append the logs. I guess 1 second, let me just check all the options. You cannot control because there is no option here to append the data to it. Okay, you cannot control the file names, friends. Remember, is it something wild? Yeah, this is just for deleting. Yeah, logging is here only. So here you cannot control the file name. You see here, I have given cloud log. This is the file name, but it has created folder with this. Okay, you cannot control the file names. Okay, maybe the reason what I'm thinking is when you are running this delete activity multiple times, so if it is going to keep on adding content to the same file, what happens is single file size is going to be very big. Okay, so that's why what they are doing is every time whenever you run the pipeline, they are creating a new file. Okay, so you'll come to know, okay, this is the like delete activity which happened on like November 10th. Okay, if new file you see, let's say you want to understand October 26th what files deleted, you will just click on that particular file and you will come to know what files got deleted instead of searching entire logs to find on particular day what logs got deleted. So these are the different reasons. That's why they have not provided that that particular option where you can append all the logs to a single file. Okay, every time they are giving the new file. Okay, let's say again I will debug without deleting this log. What will happen? We'll see. Let's delete this output container and go inside input. See, I'm inside input container. Let's upload the files. Okay, custard CSV, embedded CSV, come back. Okay, we have two files here. Let's run the pipeline again. Click debug. Now come here, refresh this. This will vanish very soon. Oh, copy activity got failed. One second, come here. So we have a files here. Now you run again. This is a temporary issue. Okay, don't worry. This is a temporary issue. So why this temporary issue will happen? I will explain you. You see, this time it is successfully executed. Your copy activity if condition delete activity. Okay, completed. Now refresh this. Input and output. Click on delete logs. So just click on this. See, this time we have two files. Just click on this file. So this is the file. Okay, this is the old file. Okay, come back. Click on this. See, this is the new file 8613. 8613. This is the new file. If you click on, sorry, if you click on this log, you will come to know the what files got deleted at this time. Okay, likewise, for every time they are maintaining a separate log file to understand what files got deleted. Okay, that is one thing. Next, why this particular pipeline got failed previously? The reason is very simple. So you have deleted the output container. Okay, so at same time you ran your copy activity. What happens is in backend it is still deleting the your container, but from front end again you are trying to create it. So one side it is deleting with same name output container, another side you are trying to create the output container. So both the things are happening at same time. That's why it got failed. So after some time again we waited for some 10 seconds or 20 seconds. When we ran again, it successfully created the output container, because in backend it is completely deleted. So when it is completely deleted, it will create it. But when you just delete it, it is in a process of deleting. Simultaneously another side you are trying to create it with the same name, it will throw error. Okay, these are the temporary issues. That's why whenever you are using delete activity, after delete activity, if you are trying to use copy activity immediately, you need to use a wait activity. That's why they have included wait activity to wait some time so that the deletion will happen properly in a backend. Then you can run your copy activity again. This is the one of the issue that you can see in real time. Okay, after delete activity you should not execute your copy activity immediately. You need to wait for some 30 seconds or 1 minute. Okay, because before you completely delete, delete activity says that okay, deletion is completed. The acknowledgement you will receive before it get deleted completely in backend. Okay, that is the problem. Okay, any other questions, friends?
Sir, here using 3 pipelines, huh?
See, to understand clearly, I have used all these things. Okay, so very good question. So now in the same question, in the same pipeline itself, I want to load the I want to add the new columns and load the data. How you will do that, friends? Same thing you need to do. Okay, let's delete this. Okay, just go inside input. As we know, this is got deleted. I will upload these two files. I will upload them. Okay, I want to add columns to these two files. Please be in mute. Okay, so these are the two files I uploaded in my input container. To these two files, I want to add the new columns while loading into the output container. Simple thing we already have seen. You no need to create a multiple pipelines for that. So for you to understand clearly one by one, I have explained. But in this pipeline itself, you can implement everything. So if you want to add new columns, you can add example load date. Okay, here you can say a run ID. These two are important, so I'll just take these two. Okay, how you do that? So you cannot use the existing values, you need to get it them dynamically. This also click dynamic content. Load date is basically UTC now. Selected, click finish. Okay, these two columns will load into your container, like output container. Then it will check the number of files copied into our output. If input and output are same, then it will delete the files from the output. Okay, this is a mapping I have removed, that is important. Now sync side, I have not made any other changes. I just added the columns and I removed the mappings. Now just click debug. Successfully executed. Your output file will come. Go inside this. Now you'll be able to see those things. See, those things came, load date and run ID. Okay, it should come. Okay, but we have added a schema and we have whatever columns added in the mappings, those columns only will come. If you're not adding any columns in mapping, all the columns which you have in source and added columns, everything will come. Okay, clear, Vinay? Okay, Any questions, friends? Okay, let me stop the recording.
Malaya, I want